Host Rajiv Satyal, broadcast on Facebook on my profile, facebook.com, the Indian, and we are traveling across the United States to meet Indian entrepreneurs, this fascinating set of people. I have the privilege of being in San Francisco Bay Area with the founder and CEO, Sramana Mitra, of 1 Million by 1 Million. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you for coming up.
Absolutely. Thanks for welcoming us into your home.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate that. That's fantastic. I'm here with Nitin Bajaj, my producer behind the camera, making some adjustments to the camera, not himself. We're going to keep it clean. Point is that we're here to see what makes these people tick, these entrepreneurs, and get to know them a little bit. So let's just jump right in. Oh, and it's brought to you by our three lovely sponsors. We are here courtesy of Atlas Hospitality, Abacus, and High Glow. So we're going to tell you a little bit more about them later in the show. Let's jump right in and ask, where did it all start? Where were you born?
I was born in Calcutta, in India.
Calcutta. That's right here, if anyone is keeping track. I don't know if anyone can see. Then I have to go like this, but then India's upside down. So you're Bengali?
I'm Bengali, yes.
Okay. And then Trace, after that, so you were in Bengal, you were in... Oh, you call it Calcutta, you didn't say Kolkata.
Well, when I was growing up, it was not called Kolkata, it was called Calcutta, so I still have a habit of calling it Calcutta.
So
when I speak in English in Bengali, I call it Kolkata.
Yeah, but you went in Rome, right? So you have to be able to switch it
My
up.
Bengali is still completely fluent.
That's good. So you're fluent in Bengali and English and...
I understand Hindi, I can converse in bad Hindi.
Okay.
I understand some French, some Spanish.
Wow. Very cool. Some Belgian. So where do you live? I guess depending on how specific you want to be, you don't have to give us your address, but...
Well, where we are sitting right now is Menlo Park, California, right off Sand Hill Road, where all the entrepreneurs want to raise money.
That's right. Where the world is being changed, one startup at a time.
That's right.
Varying degrees of
At least that's
change.
what people think.
Yeah, that's what, well, Conan O'Brien had said, somebody had asked him for advice. He said, number one, be kind, and he is a nice guy, Conan O'Brien. And number two was, go to where they do what you want to do. Yeah. So if you want to be in politics, go to DC, finance, go to New York, acting, go to LA. And if you want to be in tech, this is the place.
That's correct.
What's the place outside of San Francisco? If somebody said, I can't go to San Francisco, is there a second that you would say next to Silicon Valley is
well, right now,
globally?
actually, you can do what we do in Silicon Valley from anywhere in the world, and a lot of people are doing this from a lot of different places. Mm-hmm. So Utah, for instance, is becoming a very nice, corner of the world that's producing a lot of startups. Obviously, Bangalore is producing startups, Hyderabad is producing startups, a whole lot of Indian cities are producing startups, not so much Calcutta yet. But
are you going to make that change? Are you going to try to bring that to Calcutta?
It's something that I've wanted to do for a long, long time.
Yes.
Not an easy thing to do.
Is it a difference in cultures? Is this why? Is there something intrinsic about Bangalore and Hyderabad? And I've been to both, where it's just more it's indigenous there, or it's in the water, or what's happening? Why does it happen there?
Well, I mean, if you look at the history of how the Indian entrepreneurship scene developed. Mm-hmm. It came out of the services industry that developed in Bangalore first and then percolated to Hyderabad and Pune and all of these Gurgaon, the whole NCR area. Mm-hmm. And then that's where the technology entrepreneurship bubbled out of. Mm-hmm. So Calcutta was very far behind in that first wave of technology industry developing. And then it started catching up on that a bit more. And it hasn't yet caught up on the entrepreneurship side. But it's starting. Yesterday I went to a NASCOM event here at Quadras, close by. And there was an entrepreneur from Calcutta who came up to me and spent some time. Mm-hmm. I coached him a little bit and it was great. It was nice to see that,
it's getting there. No, absolutely. So trace for us your journey after that. So 89, you came to this country, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you went to the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah, I went to Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts, and did my undergraduate there in computer science and economics. Then went to MIT for grad school, electrical engineering, computer science. I was in the PhD program. But then, 1994, the internet happened.
So 1994, so you would say it's 1994, right?
Netscape's IPO is the kind of.
Is it sort of the ground zero or the year zero, I guess?
It's a marker.
Yeah.
When the commercial internet started to really
Right.
take off, and I left. Took my master's and didn't stay for the PhD and started my first company while I was still at MIT.
Okay. And then did you finish your PhD, or then you just came out
Never
here?
went back to finish my PhD.
Do you regret that? No. You don't? Okay, that's good. So if you leave a PhD program, what do you have to show for it? Do you just
I have a master's.
Okay, so you did have a master's.
I did finish the master's.
Okay. And then you were working on the next level, and then you'd already.
Yeah, while I was doing my master's, I started working on a company, and I just wanted to go start the company.
Is this Deus?
That was Dias.
Dias,
That was my
okay.
first company. And
Sure.
in fact, when I did Dias, I did have an Indian operation that was based in Calcutta.
There you
So
go.
I really did try to.
Smarta's
make
walking the walk here.
direct,
I'm telling you, she's trying
direct
to.
impact on trying to infuse serious entrepreneurship into the Calcutta scene, but it was not easy.
Well, Calcutta is such a great city. I actually performed there in 2012, and it was probably one of my favorite places I've ever performed. I mean, people were very receptive. It's very culturally ahead, and it's very embracing, and all that sort of thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, tremendous place. So after that, then you came out here in '96, I guess.
To California. Yeah.
Okay, to California.
in 96.
Calcutta, California, both Cals. You got kind of have that theme going on, and you came here to Northern California.
Yes, at that point I had made up my mind that I was going to move to Silicon Valley and go for it.
Okay, was it scary?
You know, in my 20s, nothing was scary.
Yeah.
Nowadays, things are more scary just because you're more aware of the kinds of things that happen. You know, shit happens.
Yeah.
And at some point, in my 20s, I would think that shit happens to other people. Nowadays, shit could happen to me as well.
It's karma. It's got what goes around comes around. It could absolutely happen. So the later in life we go, but no, we do become more aware of those things. But that's great. You were sort of it's The Social Network was to me is the movie of this last decade. I mean, it no matter how true or false it was, it really did depict. Hey, you got to come out to California. You got to do it out
And
here.
especially at that time, remember, I came out to California in 1996. The East Coast was not in the same league yet.
Sure. No, not at all. Not at all. It was a whole totally different game.
Now it's different. Now you can do it, as I said, from anywhere.
Yeah, and that's part. Ironically, that's what is great about this is it's making it possible to be able to do it everywhere. So you don't have to necessarily come here. So in one word, what are you? What do you call yourself?
I'm an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
through and through.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of different things. I write, quite prolifically. For the last 10 years, I've written very prolifically. I've written 13 books, but at the end of the day, this is my fourth company that I'm doing as an entrepreneur CEO, and that's really what I am at the core.
I had interviewed Seth Godin once, and I remember asking him, because he's a lifelong entrepreneur as well, of course, and I asked him, how do you deal with this, the ups and downs, and I'll never forget what he said. He said, that is an entrepreneur. He said, I decided I was going to have a series of successes and failures, and the failures are part of it just as much as the successes. It doesn't mean you're not an entrepreneur. In fact, that only makes you more of an entrepreneur when something fails. And he said, I'll have this, lifelong series of ups and downs. Like, well, that's a really mature way to look at it.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm a writer also, and besides all this business writing that I do, I have serious interest in literature and fiction, and one day I'll have time, hopefully, to do all this, in a more serious and intense
more
capacity,
formal kind of capacity. My brother's a published author, so it's an intense, grueling process.
Yeah.
But there's nothing quite like going in and seeing a book of yours on a shelf.
As a storyteller, you will, a flat storyline is not an interesting storyline. So I love, actually, my life storyline because it is not a flat storyline. It's not like this. It's, like this. I got fired from one of my companies that I founded.
That you founded.
Yeah.
So you sort of Steve Jobs it a little bit.
And you want to hear more of that?
Yeah.
The drama of that
Of course,
story?
of course.
I didn't have an H1. I was on an H1B visa.
Oh, man.
And this guy, I raised the venture capital from NEA, which is one of the premier venture capital firms right here on Sand Hill Road, and we brought on a quote-unquote experienced CEO. The first thing the guy did was fire me. And I was trying to navigate all this visa shit, and I was, so he said, oh, why don't you take a vacation while I sort out the visa thing? I said, okay. I was kind of tired because I'd fundraising is a
Yeah,
grueling
founded it,
process.
sure.
So I went to Buenos Aires, and I was hanging out in Buenos Aires dancing, and this guy fired me on the phone
From your own company.
from my own company. So I've been through some serious
What
shit.
a dick, dude. That is a really dick move.
A dick is exactly what you.
That's a dick move, dude. How long ago had you founded the company?
So in Tarka, this is in Tarka. This is the second company. Intarca was founded at the end of 1997.
Okay.
And this is happening in April of 1999. So.
Okay, so a couple years.
18 months.
You had put, quite a bit of
been a lot
yourself
of
into it.
work. Yeah.
Great. Wow. And so, what was your reaction?
I danced a
Yeah.
lot.
Some dance to remember, some dance to forget, as Hotel California goes.
At that point,
dancing to forget at this point.
At that point, I think I was dancing 12 hours a day, and just kind of trying to sort this out. And then I came back to the US, and the investors offered to fund me again.
Okay.
So they were trying to make this situation work between Sramana and this guy, and
who will go unnamed. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just be gracious.
Yeah, let's be
for the
gracious.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I we just couldn't work it out, and somebody had to go. Afterwards, after this saga kind of went off in different directions, a lot of people told me that we made the wrong choice, but water under the bridge, who cares?
Water under the bridge.
But I did start another company, and those investors actually funded me again. So
Okay. Well, and that had to be not bittersweet. That had to be a sweet victory. To realize that whenever somebody comes back,
you have to keep going.
You have to keep going.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't want to stop and feel like a loser.
And stagnate. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
sure.
that was an experience. It didn't end up very well. There was a lot of drama, a lot of experience, and a lot of growth, I suppose.
There's a book called Hello, He Lied. And it's about Hollywood, and I just love how it's the title, Hello, He Lied. And there's a quote at the top of one of the chapters, and it's Barry Diller. And after he lost a long, protracted battle, his quote is just, "They won, we lost, next."
Yes,
and
exactly.
I love that.
So
it's just so to the point. They won, we lost, next.
Life goes on.
Life goes on, as the Beatles once sung. Obla-di, obla-da. So, in one sentence, describe what it is. 1 million by 1 million. 1M, 1M, right?
1M is the first global virtual accelerator for startups. We help entrepreneurs get going, get moving, maneuver around the zigs and zags of entrepreneurial life. And our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP, and 10 million jobs.
Just $1 trillion. You couldn't shoot for anything bigger. $1 trillion is insane. I read that and I thought, that is an insane amount of money. $1 trillion.
Which is not coming to my pocket.
Does any of it come to your pocket?
Some of it.
Okay, I was going to say, even the tiniest percentage of 1 trillion is quite a lot, so it's why we're sitting here in Menlo Park. So it's starting to make sense now, but okay. So let's trace this for a second. So if I'm an entrepreneur, what are the qualifications? So there are, first of all, 1 million is a lot of people, but how does one get involved with this?
So this is actually an attempt to democratize entrepreneurship education and incubation. The philosophical premise that I'm coming from is that my observation that over 99% of the entrepreneurs who go out to seek financing get rejected.
Okay.
Now, why do they get rejected? They get rejected by venture capitalists because the whole venture capital model is a very specific model that is designed to scale companies at grand scales, like hyper fast growth, hyper large TAM, total available market size companies. Now, those two criteria apply to a minuscule number of opportunities. So, by definition, what do venture capitalists do? They look at 4,000 deals a year, 4,000 companies a year, and invest in 4. So, you're working on incredible odds. But even if your company, your business idea is not $1 billion or a $10 billion business idea, let's say you're working on a market opportunity that's a niche opportunity that's $5 million, $10 million, even $2 million opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's okay, as long as you can build a profitable business out of it.
Sure.
in a reasonably cost-effective manner, and you have to do it without a lot of financing. You have to do it kind of self-financed and bootstrapped and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, that's a success. You know, excess is not a prerequisite for success.
Sure. Wow, that's good. Excess is not a prereq for success. That's good.
So
Very pithy.
So that's a philosophical premise of 1 million by 1 million,
Okay.
and as a result, our expertise domain constrains things because we don't have the expertise to help entrepreneurs in every domain. For instance, pharmaceuticals is something I don't know anything about. Our organization does not have any expertise, so we cannot really help you build a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
But as long as you're working within the premises of internet, IT-enabled services, the whole gamut.
You're building the guts of it online.
We can do that. We can help you with all of that, and anyone is welcome. This is really a democratized platform.
This democratization is a theme, because when we had in our last episode Don Ganguli with HomeUnion.com, he is helping people to invest in real estate and democratize the process. So I feel there's a theme developing with some of the other people we spoke to as well. So why this? Why are you so passionate about the beginning, sort of the origin story of the comic book, if you will? I mean, why are you wanting to help people start something?
So there are two answers to this question. Firstly, if you remember, I told you I majored in computer science and economics in college, and I have a sustained interest in development economics.
Okay.
And I do believe that entrepreneurship is the way to do development economics right.
Okay.
So I grew up actually in socialist communist Bengal in the 70s and the 80s.
That's right, they were communists. They only recently went non-communist, I think, after 40-some years.
It's still socialist.
That's really crazy, yeah. I forgot about that.
And I, at 16, I first read Ayn Rand, and I was exposed to capitalism because my father is an entrepreneur. But I was exposed to the philosophy of capitalism in a substantial way through Ayn Rand's writing.
What was the Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged?
Fountainhead,
I read the
Atlas
Fountainhead at 18, and I thought, wow, it captured what I always believed.
And that commitment to excellence and all of that.
Never
I
compromising.
really liked all that.
Sure.
So that was, it was a good contrast to everything. But fast forward to 2008, and at this point in 2008, I had a column in Forbes called Zero In, and I had become quite a popular columnist for Forbes by this time, and this financial crisis is unraveling around me, right? And being a thinker, fundamentally, I started questioning, what the hell is going on here? And I wrote a piece on Forbes called Capitalism's Fundamental Flaw. And in that I pointed out that the capitalism that I bought into is a value creator driven capitalism.
Okay.
The capitalism in practice today is a speculation driven capitalism. So it's the finance industry, it's
that's very true.
rampant speculation.
Completely.
You trade everything and you move money from here to
It's
there.
not really creating value.
No value being created.
Right.
It's just pure speculation.
Speculative.
And that's what's driving capitalism. If you actually analyze what's driving capitalism and who's really making the most money,
Yeah, it's Wall Street. Sure.
it's largely the speculators. There are exceptions, of course Mark Zuckerberg is making huge amounts of money and he deserves to make huge amounts of money and good for him.
Sure.
So the entrepreneurs are making money. Yes, there are entrepreneurs who are making money, but there's also a disproportionate amount of speculation-driven wealth creation that's happening that I'm not at all fond of. So I decided that what needed to happen was, we've created a capitalism that is fortune at the tip of the pyramid.
Well, they say that we have capitalism for the bottom 99% and socialism for the top 1%. Because what often happens in a speculative economy like that is we privatize our profits, but we socialize our losses.
Socialize the losses, exactly.
So that's why we've got this sort of inverted problem.
So what I decided would be a good, value addition to this economic pyramid is to broaden the middle. So just like, C.K. Prahlad wrote about fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, my philosophy of what I'm trying to do with 1 million by 1 million is unlocking fortune in the middle of the pyramid.
Sure.
So broaden the economic, the middle.
The
of
middle.
The economic.
Well, the more I eat now that I'm married, I'm broadening the middle. So I'm doing whatever I can to broaden my middle, which does take a little bit of time. Let me take a break and give a shout out to our sponsors, since they're keeping us fat too. So Atlas Hospitality, the undisputed leader in California hotel sales, with unrivaled market knowledge and reputed services, it is a must-have resource. Check them out at atlashospitality.com. We are also sponsored by Abacus, and they are a leading payroll service provider since 1992. They do payroll processing, time and attendance, employee background search and check, pay-as-you-go, and check them out at payrollprovider.com. And finally, High Glow Jewelers. They do handcrafted 22K jewelry. That's different from a 401K. It's 22K jewelry. But Nitin's been biking a lot, so maybe he's going 22K miles. Who knows? They carry brands for, like Omega, like Dior, like Rado. I think I said that right. And many, many more. Check them out at highglow.com. So thank you very much to our sponsors. We'll give them a shout out again as we're wrapping up. So we got pretty deep there with some of the stuff, which is fantastic. That's the whole point of it. So you seem like a philosopher of sorts. So do you have a guiding principle, a motto, a slogan, or a North Star, or something that, I mean, excess and success, that's a great one. And anything else? No, I like that one. So anything else?
Yes, the one that you will see posted everywhere in my writings is entrepreneurship equals customers, revenues, and profits. Financing is optional, exit is optional.
Okay. Financing is optional, exit is optional. Okay.
You need to exit if you take financing of the venture and angel kind.
Sure.
Mostly the people will expect that you will exit, but if you don't have outside financing, exit is optional.
Where do you see 1M in a year? What's the current state? Are you out of the million? Where are you with the million, and are you on track?
You know, our community touches a lot of people right now. We launched at the end of 2010, so it's been coming up to 6 years. It's been a little over 5 years that we've been doing this, and we're touching, about 300,000 people.
Sure.
I'm not saying that 300,000 people have reached $1 million in revenue.
No, well, that I didn't. I mean, that would be tremendous. I mean, not that this isn't tremendous, but that would be pretty mind-blowing. If you were in 5 years, you were already at that point.
But we are, I think we have done a sizable job in raising the ambient level of understanding of entrepreneurs in this domain, in IT entrepreneurship. I don't know if you've seen, we do this free mentoring sessions every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I invite you to come check it out.
And how can they, is that on the 1M
Yes,
1M
just
site?
go to 1m.com.
Okay, and is it an X?
It's number 1, the letter M, B, Y, number 1, letter M.com. So 1M,
okay.
by 1M.
By 1M, okay, got it.
So that.
So you do these trainings every Thursday,
Yeah, and that we've had over 50,000 people participate in those over the years. So we've had a lot of people kind of learning from the body of work that we've been doing. There's a premium program that you people actually pay to join. We have a $1,000 annual membership fee program where we do much more intense training,
Sure.
private mentoring and stuff like that. We have a curriculum. The curriculum has actually matured hugely. With this year, just a couple months ago, we released the curriculum as a monthly subscription option
Sure.
as well. So we are, democratizing at many levels, basically.
Okay. And who, out of the businesses, is there anyone close to $1 million, or do you have some candidates
There
who
are
are?
many. There's a 1 million club list, case studies, use cases that we've published on the website. You'll find them.
Okay.
The company in our portfolio that has probably the most number of customers is a company called Freshdesk.
Freshdesk. Okay.
That started in Chennai. They were with us for 3 years from 2011. Very soon after we launched, like probably within months of our launch, they came on board, and they were in the program for 3 years. And now they've raised over $100 million in financing.
Jeez.
And have over 50,000 customers and serious amounts of revenues. So this is a big success story. All the many major VCs are in the deal and so forth. So this is gone way beyond $1 million in revenue.
So there's one way to look at it where the total is $1 trillion, right? And 10 million jobs, I think you said. So which one would be more satisfying? That you got 1 million people to $100,000, or you got 100,000 people to $1 million? I mean, which one would give you more satisfaction?
You know, whichever way you cut it, I would say it's a success.
Sure.
Right? So because...
well, one is you're touching more people, right? You've got more touch points. And the other is you've got people who are, you know, maybe it's not as wide.
So I guess let me answer your question this way. Going back to the theme of excess is not a prerequisite for success.
Right, okay. Yeah, she passed the test, so it is the million people. And yeah, that's democracy at work. You passed the test.
I would say it's not very important for me to create a bunch of billionaires.
Right.
That's not what I'm after.
Sure.
And that distinguishes me from most of the accelerators out there, because all the accelerators are looking for that hit that is going to make their, you know, because they take equity in the companies that they incubate. We don't take equity, you know, so we don't care. We actually want lots of people to be successful at a reasonable level, as opposed to one being successful at an unreasonable level.
So we're almost out of time. We try to keep these to 30 minutes now on the live stream. So let me turn to Nitin, and we'll fire some rapid questions to you. But why don't you jump in?
Thanks, Rajiv. So you mentioned Freshdesk. That's probably your most successful, I believe, started from your accelerator. What's been the most, I guess, rewarding for you personally? And you know, what other company stands out, either from a success standpoint or kind of touching so many different lives?
We have a great company, and I love this entrepreneur. In fact, I have a book called Seed India in the Entrepreneur Journey series that I dedicated to Ajit Narayanan, who is, well, his first product is an app for helping autistic children communicate.
Oh, wow.
It's a very interesting product, and he's also doing a language learning app called Free Speech. This is a very, very innovative guy, and I believe I've taught him a lot. You know, for what I do, I'm an entrepreneur, but as you can imagine, I'm playing the role of a teacher.
Sure,
you
of
know,
course.
a mentor at a very large scale, and a huge amount of that satisfaction in that process is to see people grow. You know, under my tutelage, sort of.
Yeah, of course.
And to be able to meaningfully change the direction of people's thought process and you know, ability to process this. Entrepreneurship is very tough, you know. First-time entrepreneurs have an incredible learning curve to climb. And we are just accelerating that process and helping them become sophisticated entrepreneurs so that they don't get taken advantage of that easily. So from that point of view, Ajit has been a favorite of mine. I'm not supposed to have favorites, but he's certainly been a favorite.
Well, hey, no, that's only emotionally true. Have you made it? Would you say you've made it? I mean, when you think about the question.
No, I haven't done 1 million by 1 million yet.
So when you do that, will you, I mean, it's difficult to project, right? Do you have a timeline, or do you think, hey, when it happens, when it happens? It's your life's work,
It's my life's work.
So, it takes as long as it takes, and you keep trying.
Takes, yeah.
So let's, and anything else, or should I kind of rapid fire the rest of these questions? So, what drives you? What drives you?
Oh, I just like to add value, create value. So, and at this point, this whole thing is framed in this 1 million by 1 million agenda. So it's all very focused, very precise. So that's what drives me.
That's what drives you. What is your favorite time of day?
You know, I've developed a habit of just as I'm waking up at dawn, insights come to me.
Really?
So I'm still half asleep, but ideas kind of bubble up. And I feel like sometimes if I'm wrestling with a problem, I kind of park it. And then at that hour of dawn, insights come. And I pay a lot of attention to that because these have been phenomenal insights.
This is amazing. This is also like Don Ganguly because he said his favorite time of day was twilight, right?
They're both from Bengal.
Yeah, they're both Bengali. That makes sense. It's
so
in twilight.
Bengalis have a monopoly over dawn and dusk.
That's it. So take that to Calcutta. Make that the theme for you're gonna take everyone down in that. That's gonna be gonna lead the way.
You know, entrepreneurship and investments.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
theme.
We got a theme here. This is good. You got to start with a theme. When you have inspiration, you mentioned that you danced a lot. You were dancing for 12 hours a day. When you feel inspiration, does it hit you any part in your body? I mean, if you have these insights at dawn or whenever you have them, do you feel it anywhere?
I would rather not
Keep it clean. Okay, all right. We're gonna go back to the very beginning. That's a callback. Okay, that's great. So on that note, I think we don't know where the last question will lead, so maybe we should just cut it right there. So we do want to say thank you so much to our viewers, and we ended on an exclamation point. You always want to do that. We want to thank. High Glow Jewelers at highglow.com for handcrafted 22 karat jewelry. Check them out. Want to thank Atlas Hospitality, the undisputed leader in California hotel sales. Check them out at atlashospitality.com. And finally, go to payrollprovider.com for Abacus and they're who you need for all of your payroll needs. I've had the pleasure of being here in Menlo Park, outside of San Francisco, on this lovely, May 4th, I think it is.
Star Wars Day.
Right, May the 4th be with you. How could I miss that? I'm not that kind of nerd, I'm another kind of nerd. But we've been joined by Sramana Mitra. Did I do okay on that? Sramana. Okay. I thought you said there was an O sound to it, though.
Bengali sound is O.
Right, so there you go. So
All the Bengali A's are pronounced as
it's
O's.
O's. So yeah, I'm trying to give some shout out, some love to Calcutta, or Kolkata, however you would like to say it. So thank you very much to our illustrious guest. May the 4th be with you, and may the trillionth be with you as you get to 1 million by 1 million. Go check about 1mby1m.com for the training every Thursday at 8 a.m. That's tomorrow. So go ahead and sign up. Thousands of people are already doing it, and you should get on board with that as well. If you have an idea, Ms. Mitra can absolutely help bring it to life. So please check us out at facebook.com/funnyindian for upcoming episodes. We've booked some very exciting guests coming up. I've been your host, Rajiv, and I still am.